I think there was this information that was coming out. This Masai Mara, so many tourists are always going to Kenya. But it's as if that same population that was going to Kenya had started preferring Tanzania. This time around, I don't want to talk about people's companies or businesses, but I know of like 2 companies which actually preferred moving completely, permanently from Nairobi to Kigali. I think the tax policy has also caused more problems. Because I always check on the news. I think everyone is complaining about taxes. You find like a governor has a convoy of like 10 cars. Why are you having you're just a governor. Like you want to run a business, they are having like almost 10 licenses you're supposed to be paying. All these licenses is money. I also was following up some 3 stories. I don't want to bring in people's names. Mainly they were Ugandans who were complaining. We've been in Kenya for like 35 years. They're not giving us national IDs. They allow us to stay. But there are certain things, as long as you don't have a Kenyan national ID, you can't do. There are some negatives which the Kenyans run to share outside that are not necessary. Okay.
Do you think the weakening of their shilling could contribute to investors running away?
Yeah, definitely. Unlike Kenya, which has like a very big limit, they tell you if you want to do business in Kenya, you should come with this amount of money. But how many people can afford? And yet on the other side, when you come to Uganda, Tanzania, it's the opposite. If they can avoid the negative implication of politics, and they do things based on going forward, which I think Rwanda has tried to do. Maybe we need to pick a leaf from Rwanda. Their statistics, people are always saying that Rwandan statistics is cooked. It's not true. Kenya has all sorts of experts. Let the experts be given the opportunity to tell them exactly what to do. From there, let them implement what has to be done. After that,
hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Price and I'm from Uganda. 1 year ago, I had my guest and he was telling me all the good things why investors prefer Kenya. But as of this January 2024, he has a different story for me today. So I want him to be telling me why investors are leaving Kenya, why they are preferring Tanzania, and also Uganda. They prefer Uganda. Is it true or no? Anyway, if you like this kind of content, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to turn on your bell so that when you want to know anything about East Africa, this channel got you. So introduce yourself.
Greetings to you all in this new year of 2024. This is Julius once again.
So last year, I remember we did that video. It premiered on 1st December. Is it 2022? I remember that date properly. We did a video and you were telling me all the good things why investors prefer Kenya, how they have good what was good policies, how the medium of communication. So what happened now that this time investors don't want to invest in Kenya anymore?
I've actually not changed so much from what I said that same time, because the truth is Kenya has all it takes for someone to invest comfortably, for the tourists to be attracted. They have everything, all the assets, the biggest airport in East Africa, their documents, the policies. everything Kenya has. The question we should be asking ourselves is, what went wrong, or what is going wrong, or what might have gone wrong from the last time we talked about it. I can start from this angle. One is our politics, the politics of maybe the democracy, which I also don't want to indulge so much in, because I know there are so many feelings, Ruto team versus the Raila team, so I know what it takes. I don't want to talk about it, but people shouldn't shy away from it, because it's among the things that actually making people have a second thought. If I can invest in Kenya, I could also invest in any other place, including Uganda and Tanzania, since we are more or less talking about mainly East Africa. I think as the year was ending last year, okay, maybe 3 months before the year ended, I think there was this information that was coming out. You know, this Masai Mara, so many tourists are always going to Kenya, but it's as if that same population that was going to Kenya had started preferring Tanzania. What could be the cause?
Apart from the political instability.
Yes, what could be the cause? We need to know why such a thing is happening. I think this time around I don't want to talk about people's companies or businesses, but I know of like 2 companies which actually preferred moving completely, permanently from Nairobi to Kigali. And they've already moved. We are talking about companies. I think one of them says like spare parts and what. We are talking about companies which have done businesses in Kenya for a very long time. And of course, that one of the companies was giving an excuse that the cost of operations in Kenya was getting out of hand. And they've tried to engage the government, and the government is giving them deaf ears. So I think that goes back to the policy. Why would they? And now, of course, for such big companies to migrate, those middle companies cannot even try. It's like saying, if Gorora has feared this direction, whom we know that he knows how to fight, is the best in the country. What of me, who only makes 5 press-ups in the morning? Then I will not go there. Maybe I think the tax policy has also caused more problems. Because I always check on the news. I think everyone is complaining about taxes. And the current government is saying we need more taxes to reduce on the borrowing, which is a good thing, because you see, once you don't borrow, you become self-sufficient, and you are not put on some terms like when these foreign companies like IMF, World Bank, when they are giving you money, they put terms and conditions, sometimes which are not favorable, but you find you have to follow them as long as you need their money. So if you need your own money, if you have your own money, you don't fall in those traps. And the government is insisting on doing that, saying we need to make more money through taxes, hence increasing the taxes. But these taxes, I think people are not prepared for that situation. Maybe I would advise the government to also go back on the drawing board and see, yes, as we need taxes, can we first create the environment for even all the citizens to do business, make more people comfortable in doing business, get this tax from everyone, as opposed to taxing few people and stretching their limits, because they will not allow, some companies will not allow, especially like the foreign companies. No, for them, they are there to make profit. So if you are taxing them and they're not making that profit, they are going to run away. You get it? So I think also the policies.
Before you mark where you had reached.
Yes.
Me, I always think like citizens always they may not have a problem paying taxes, but you know where the problem is? Even when you pay that taxes, that money is embezzled by people, and they don't even take the taxes to do the right job why the taxes are collected.
It is true in one stage or another, but at the same time, it is also true that you can create a favorable environment for everyone to pay tax, and they pay less because there are many, as opposed to have a few whom you want to get all the tax that would have been paid by everyone. You get it? So their tax regime should change. You know, you cannot. Yes, it's good you are trying to avoid borrowing, but at the end of the day, what are the reasons of borrowing? Maybe you should also, before you even look at ways of getting more tax, I think you should look at also what you are using the tax you collect for. Because me, I still believe, I always see the wastefulness in the Ugandan government of buying especially cars. A minister says, I will not drive this car because someone else was driving it. But this is a car of 1 year, 2 years, and these are brand new cars. You're buying another car. Instead of using that same car, second minister uses it, third minister uses it. Okay, the Kenyans call them cabinet secretaries, even the directors below. I'm not talking about only the top officers. Even these people in the below offices. You find like a governor has a convoy of like 10 cars. Why? Why are you having you're just a governor. A governor is a human being.
But you think when those people reach in those positions, they are still human beings?
I know. That's why I want them to come back to reality. They are human beings. So, why are the people running away? Is what we're trying to look at. The reality vis-a-vis what is depicted by everyone is different. Because you see, okay, I know Tanzania is a bit of like a closed economy, but once you're doing business in Tanzania, you're 100% sure that your businesses are safe. Because for them, once you sit down, they tell you exactly what you want or what they want from you, and if you cannot afford, you go. And in most cases, you can afford. Tanzania is trying to put a favorable environment for everyone to operate. Kenya, I'm happy. Maybe one of the other things I think we had talked about it in some previous videos. I don't remember. You know, like you want to run a business, they are having like almost 10 licenses you're supposed to be paying. All these licenses is money. As opposed, because it's like in Uganda now, we have the environment, which is the UIA, the Uganda Investment Authority, I think has put in place just like one place where one goes. If you want to open a business, you just sit in one place, you get away when everything is done. As opposed to moving in office A, B, C, D, something like that.
Bribing.
Yeah, of course, bribing in Africa, you will not run away from it. But I'm saying, like, that's a favoring environment which I think also the Kenyans need to look into. I think as of last year, they were trying to reduce some of the licenses that people go in for. Then I also was following up some 3 stories. I don't want to bring in people's names. Mainly they were Ugandans who were complaining. We've been in Kenya for like 35 years. They are not giving us national IDs. They allow us to stay. But there are certain things, as long as you don't have a Kenyan national ID, you can't do. And yet when you come to Uganda, as long as you're a foreigner, you've been in the country for like 5 years, you can apply for naturalization. You become a citizen automatically. 5 years and above, you become a citizen automatically. As long as you've been staying here, you start enjoying all the privileges. So the Kenyan citizenship has been made so hard. So you see someone who is doing business, even when you go to Tanzania, by the way, because I have friends there. They've been there for like 7 years. They are now citizens.
In Tanzania?
Yeah, in Tanzania. And yet people feel that it is a hard thing to do. But of course I'm talking about Kenya because these issues were there. Especially I think some Ugandans. Ugandan was 30 years. She was in Kenya from the age of 3. She cannot get a national ID.
Even when you get married to a Kenyan and a Ugandan, somehow you can't be like a Kenyan.
Yeah, they make it so hard, but as in Uganda, it's smooth. When you go to Tanzania and you marry a Tanzanian, somehow, there is a way, even if you're not made a national, then even if you're not a national, I think somehow, you have a privilege to be doing everything. Because I've seen in Kenya, even if you've been working there and you've retired, you're a non-Kenyan. Unless if you've been getting an NSSF. But this one's when you're working for government direct, they don't give you like retirement package. And you know you're in your 60s, 70s.
You work for them until you retire and no benefits?
No, unless if you're doing NSSF. If you're working for private companies, you get.
But for the government, no.
For the government, no. And all that, we are trying to say, why are people preferring these other countries?
Yeah.
Someone would, because for them, it's not that they don't give out citizenships. They do. But they are looking at how big the person is. Because I saw, I think, some TikToker who is an Israeli recently got his citizenship. So they're looking at people of influence.
You have money.
But you're forgetting that those people of influence, they might be having a lot of money, but there are those other people who are down, who would be having little money, but if you get those who are more, you would rather have those many as opposed to a few who have, and you end up getting more. So maybe they should also, but these are my personal views, not for any other person. I think also that citizenship issue, the publicity it has gotten on the internet, could be some of the setbacks that are causing Kenya. You know, people these days are always on the internet. They're always following up. So someone will say, now how will I even go invest money in a country where I might not be given a privilege of becoming a citizen the soonest possible period. When you go to Rwanda, Congo, these guys, as long as you've come with money, they will give you a privilege of becoming a citizen. And you know, once you become a citizen, you have the confidence of investing more. But as long as you're not a citizen, it's different. Then I think also sometimes it's not that all truth has to be told. Let's also be realistic. There are some negatives which the Kenyans run to share outside that are not necessary. The negatives, I mean, like the way when this petrol saga was coming out with Uganda, they had people going in the media showing, yes, we are following the policies, we are doing this. But that is negativity. Someone will say, this person has been dealing with Uganda. and cannot even allow Uganda to just use its own pipeline, which Uganda is not even using for free.
What about me?
You get it? That's the negative kind of, yes, it is there. Why don't you stay with it? Look of ways of how to solve it. Not solving it in the media. Because you see the problem with the camera, sometimes they put you on camera and you don't know what to do. You don't know what to say. I remember some politician in Kenya, I think last year, was boasting how Rwanda is not doing well, is autocratic. This is PR. You're talking about another nation. So how will a person trust you if you can lambast a nation that has not even attacked you? And you are a leader. And of course you see the problem with the leaders, their words, when you talk about their words are final. People believe in their words so much.
Yeah.
You go and talk about a country that has done nothing to you. You get it? You might think that, and yet that's your personal opinion, but you're forgetting you are representing a country. Maybe we should, these guys, when they are and you see, the reality is, most of these positions are politically connected. So it's not that they are employing people of knowledge. I will employ you because you helped me get votes in Mount Kenya. I will employ you because you helped me get votes in Kisumu. Maybe like I saw, there's some funny thing that happened in our country. I think last 2 weeks, Uganda was saying that they are going to teach our leaders on how to behave, how to handle themselves before these conferences come. And people were laughing, but it's true. Some of these guys behave like kids. They maybe need to be told when a visit is passing, you need to do this. When such a thing has happened, you need to behave like this. Maybe also the Kenyan leadership, you people. I saw the other time they were forcing you to learn Swahili and what? You should also be taught about manners. Ugandan ministers were taught about manners last week. Because we have a conference actually that started, I think, on Monday. So they were being taught manners like young kids because we are not sure of how they will handle themselves. So I think all these indirectly are affecting the Kenyan economy, maybe making some people wonder, have a second thought of why should we deal with these people who are behaving like kids. Because I think I wasn't happy about that thing of talking about Rwanda, a separate country, and you're talking with so much confidence, showing how it's showing that it is even smaller than some county in Kenya. It was such a bad publicity from a leader.
So what?
So now, I think at the end of the day, yes, leaders can embarrass. There is a lot we should be doing as a country going forward. Going forward, we should be mindful that a country is a country. It has so many people. Okay, we are now advising Kenya as friends.
Okay, let me first ask you. Let me ask something before you forget.
Okay.
Do you think the weakening of their shilling could contribute to investors running away?
Yeah, definitely. You need confidence in a local currency for you to invest, because you see, as long as the currency is weak, the cost of doing business will be high.
And hence, also, hence what?
Hence not favorable.
Then also Ruto always is blaming the opposition.
You see, that's politics that I don't want to involve myself, because already my house is not in order in relation to politics. I mean Uganda, so I shouldn't jump on the other side, because we are almost in the same boat.
Then also the high cost of living also. I think you talked about it.
Yeah, of course the high cost of living, as long as the currency is not doing well, the cost of living goes high. So we're asking ourselves why the investors that were confident in the Kenyan economy now are not.
Because we did a video just last year.
So now
2022 December, when we did that video, and everything was okay.
Yes. So now, way forward, I think first and foremost, the policymakers should first evaluate themselves and analyze where they went wrong. That is the starting point. Because something is wrong, something's not right. After knowing what went wrong, that's where they need the experts. And Kenya has all sorts of experts. Let the experts be given the opportunity to tell them exactly what to do. From there, let them implement what has to be done. After that, they will be ready to go.
Then can you also tell us why now they prefer like Tanzania? Like what's special now that they have to run to Tanzania?
Yeah, like of course I told everything I talked about Kenya, the policy, the tax,
of the other.
The taxes,
Stability. So Kenya is stable. I mean Tanzania is stable. Policies are good. Taxes are okay. They easily get the license if they want.
Yes, and they are considering all sorts of people. Unlike Kenya, which has like a very big limit, they tell you if you want to do business in Kenya, you should come with this amount of money. But how many people can afford? And yet on the other side, when you come to Uganda, Tanzania, it's the opposite. Whichever money you come with, of course they also don't allow the lowest, but at least the minimum which like 60% can afford. These countries allow. And they even allow you to come and work as an individual, as opposed to Kenya where they want you to come and still partner with a Kenyan. And yet the person you're partnering with is not coming with money. Wants to again use your money. So
that's a bad policy.
But I'm optimistic that I think some of these mistakes in life, we make mistakes, but we learn from them. I'm sure going forward, if they can avoid the negative implication of politics, and they do things based on right information, right statistics, I'm sure the same confidence we talked about them last year will come back, and they will be ready to go.
Okay, thank you so much, Julius, for telling us, educating us, informing us. And before you comment on this video, please, everything we talked about is well researched, so double check with that comment. They will come with the paragraphs.
No, and it's also good because you see sometimes you might research wrong information. You are also welcome maybe to also help us improve on how we do our things.
Yeah, true.
Every comment,
we
need feedback. Feedback is important in life. Okay. We are not 100% perfect. Feedback is important in life. And information also on the internet. Sometimes people cook up stories, cook up records. But based of course on personal experience, because it's not that I'm talking from Uganda, because I'm also always in Kenya. I also try to bid for work in Kenya. You get it? So at least I know more than what is on the internet. I read their policies.
Unless they are posting wrong information.
Yes, and of course, which also unfortunately sometimes is right based on the Ugandan experience, especially those statistical data, because you're trying to cover up something. You say we've done ABCD to impress your donors, then and yet it's not true. But you forget that you're impressing them for today and remaining with the same problem for the rest of your life. I think going forward we need to now let this one go to the region. Going forward, which I think Rwanda has tried to do. Maybe we need to pick a leaf from Rwanda. Their statistics, people are always saying that Rwandan statistics is cooked. It's not true. I've worked in Rwanda. These people, their statistics is from ground. When they show you their statistics, even if you want to prove them, you prove them right, which I cannot stand on my two legs and say with Kenya and Uganda, because I've had impasses myself doing work as a result of that, and someone comes from behind and says, but you see, certain things are not to be said, which I agree. Certain things are not to be said, but certain things are supposed to be done. That's now the difference. Don't say them, but work on them. There, you'll be helping yourself, the coming generations to come, as opposed to just enjoying and having fun of saying we are doing well and you're not doing well. Yep.
Alright, I'm learning a lot. I'm getting informed from this YouTube channel. So if you like this kind of content, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel and give this video a thumbs up so that it can get to your leaders, and they know that when they put a camera in front of them, they know the right things to say, not to just embarrass you. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Bye.